Hello friend and welcome to Betta Days. I'm so excited to see you here. Today is going to be fun and a little different because I will be showing you what I have been doing with my tanks for the past month or two. I haven't really created any of these vlog type, I guess you could say, these vlog type videos, but if you like what you see today, let me know and I would love to make more of these. I know that some people, while they like the informative videos, also enjoy just sitting back and having someone talk to them and show them their tanks. I know that I love that, so I thought that that is what I would do today. If you are new to the channel, do not forget to check it out. If you like it, hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, take a look at the description in this video and consider joining my free Facebook group for betta fish keepers like yourself. Let's go over William's tank first because right now I'm actually feeling really good about it. Let's start at the top because yes, the floaters are a little bit out of control, but I do want to mention this little floating plant corral that I made because it does need a little bit of help. I definitely need to thin out the plants at the top because, as you can see back there, it is blocking the water flow, although I don't seem to have any biofilm, so I am happy about that. Instead of having a little suction cup hold it to the side, I actually tied a little piece of fishing line to it and I have it taped to the outside wall of this tank. And although it doesn't look terrible, I don't really like to have a piece of tape on the outside wall, so I'm currently working on my design for that. I may actually create a video on how to make your own corral that will also lower with the water level, especially if you have a lidless tank. If you have a tank without a lid, you know what I'm talking about, every probably 2 or 3 days. And then your plant corral, if it doesn't lower with the water level, then those plants will escape out from underneath it. I'm kind of prototyping that, I guess you could say. So I will definitely come out with a video for that once I figure out kind of the general design and keep that piece of tape from being an eyesore. All right, moving on to the plants up here. If you didn't know, I adore houseplants. I don't know why, but I feel like houseplants and fish keeping, but especially betta fish keeping, just kind of go hand in hand. There are some betta fish keepers that do not have a very green thumb, but most of the people that I have met, either online or in person, adore houseplants as well, and they love to combine the two hobbies. So I have actually changed the plants that I had up here because this one was growing out of control in my 10-gallon in Alexander's tank, and I thought it is just so gorgeous, so I decided to cut it off and put this bottom piece in William's tank because I knew, and as you can see right there, it will continue to grow. Even if you cut off the main piece of plant, especially with philodendrons or pothos plants, they will actually grow a whole new piece, and it is usually beneath the first node after you cut that main piece off. They will begin to grow a new one. So I was not worried about the plant. The last plant that I have here is a type of monstera. I cannot exactly remember which type, but I have been experimenting with keeping part of it submerged underwater. I wanted to see if it would rot or if it would actually grow, kind of partly submerged. And honestly, I have to say that it has been doing very well. I tried this with another plant, a golden pothos, but it actually ended up rotting. And this one really hasn't, so I've actually been really excited about that. I just love monsteras in general, and I love how they look. Looking the tank completely over, you may notice that I moved around a few more plants as well. I have kept mostly everything where it is, but I have been struggling a little bit with my water wisteria back there. I don't know why, but it just hasn't been very happy. However, I have had wonderful success with my Java fern and my Anubis. They are growing like absolute weeds, and I really do need to split that one up soon. The Java fern that I have at the bottom was actually a piece that I cut off of this big one on the back. You may wonder how I keep that floating, and I actually have a little plant holder. I created a tutorial on that quite a while back, which has actually been doing really well, and I do use that plant holder to keep the houseplants above the surface of my tank, but I also use it to keep plants like this from sinking to the bottom or just floating around haphazardly. Also, this little leaf lounger that I created for William using the leaf tunnel ring that I also created a tutorial for not too long ago, which was actually one of the first videos I posted on this channel. By the way, I will be updating that video. I will be creating a new one because I did figure out a few new things and a few new ways to use it, and I have updated my method for creating it just a little bit. So in the future, I will be uploading a new way to create this ring. However, I have noticed that instead of just taking an almond leaf, this is a different kind of leaf. I cannot remember what type it is. The leaves are a lot smaller, so I wanted to create this open concept lounger, and actually it works really well. That is pretty much everything that I have updated in the tank itself. So we will now talk a little bit about William, who is currently scrounging around for food. Honestly, it's his favorite pastime. So he has actually been pretty happy and healthy. However, for probably since last year, his caudal fin has been kind of ripped looking. As you can see, there are some pieces missing, and he's never had infection. I am so thankful for that. He's never had infection, it's never been infected, and it was not fin rot. I do believe it was a result of either fin nipping himself, or he had some tank mates about a year ago that I removed. And I think they were picking on him and he was kind of stressed, so I just removed them. But his tail just never really seemed to grow back, so I've started taking some measures, and I do actually believe that I am seeing some new growth, which is so exciting. I'll try to get it on the video for you, but he is moving around a lot, so it's kind of hard to see. When a Betta's fins are growing back, a lot of times they grow back clear, so it almost looks like this clear kind of film on the very tip, and then it will color after it grows. On the very tip of the orangey part, you can almost see a clear spot showing up, which I honestly do believe is fin regrowth, but it has only been about 5 days since I've started treating it. I'm so excited. I have not seen new growth for so long, so I decided to actually treat him. I heard really good things about Seachem Stress Guard, and I bought the small bottle because I didn't know how much I would need. I followed some instructions, and I'm not dosing every day, but I dosed for about 2 days. I did half a cap since his tank is a 5-gallon. And once I perform a water change, I'll probably dose twice again, but I don't want to keep dosing since he's not really stressed. I read really good things about this. Most of the reviews were talking about how their bettas were regrowing scales and fins. Like someone's fish had lost their entire back fin, and while it wasn't a betta, I figured that this should work for William, so I'm super excited. I will definitely keep you updated on that. And also, I mean, it could just be me, but I really do think he's been a little more active lately. He is an older guy now. He's probably about, if I could guess, he's probably nearing 3 years old, if he's not 3 already. So he's getting older, but I feel like since I've been treating with Seachem Stress Guard, he has actually been a little more active, especially whenever I approach the tank. He gets the zoomies like he used to when he was younger. So I honestly believe it's helping, and I cannot wait to see his fin regrow. Moving on to Alexander's tank, I actually found a plant at Walmart the other day that fits perfectly in this corner. I can't remember which plant I had here before, but I have been looking for this forever, and it may be a little bit rough, but it's already put on 2 new leaves since I've had it, and I love it. I love how it looks if you just take a step back. Now, because of the tannins in his tank, the glare is absolutely hideous, so it is kind of hard to film. I do apologize beforehand for that. You can even see my dog walking in the background on the tank. But it's this large piece of driftwood that I have in there. If you watch the video where I set it up, the tannins were much stronger. You could not even see to the back, so it is an improvement. I feel like most of them have left the wood since then, but every time I do water changes after about a week, it is pretty dark again, so I just keep doing water changes, and eventually it will be lighter. But already, it's as light as it has ever been. You can actually kind of see to the back now, so it's an improvement. I am happy about that. And actually, I do have one issue that I was wanting to bring up in this video to see if anybody had any answers or ideas, but I recently bought this to vary up my Betta's diet. But honestly, when you open it, they are so small, so tiny. And whenever I put it in the water, neither of them could really see it to go for it. So if any of you have found any ways to get your Betta to eat these, please let me know, because I cannot get a refund. I tried, but they will not refund me. So there is that. But honestly, everything else is going really well. I am dealing with a little bit of biofilm here, but that's just because I have so many plants right here. I need to thin it back again, but I'm really happy because I would rather deal with too many than struggle with keeping them alive. So I don't have any biofilm back there, but because of this plant here and these plants here, this water is not moving at all. So I just need to clear it up, and then I believe that will be dealt with. Alexander himself is doing really well, although I do find myself wondering sometimes if he has a little developing diamond eye, which is basically just where the scales in some parts of the body grow over the eyes. I have kind of wondered that because if you can see on this eye, the very top does look like scales are growing over it, if you notice. So it hasn't really affected him in any way, but I have been wondering. He is definitely growing though, absolutely loving his tank, loving it. The Java moss here is kind of growing out of control, but I find that because it curves out like that, it makes the perfect little bed. He loves to rest in it, but he is still very jumpy. The ram's horn snails are doing really, really well. Since I've been able to get the water a little bit more cleared up, I've been able to actually see roughly how many I have. And I think I probably have around 10 of these big guys that Alexander could not eat. He actually eats their babies, so I have not had an overrun of these snails at all. I was afraid of that at first, but honestly, these have turned out to be really, really great and powerful algae eaters, and they have been super duper helpful to my tank. There's another one right here, and I do actually have a question for any of you who have more experience with these than I do, maybe if you've had them for longer. I've noticed that their shells have some white specks on them, and I don't know if maybe it's a calcium deficiency or something. I'm not putting anything in the tank to feed them, but I have noticed that a few of them have passed, actually. I found some empty shells in the tank, so I know that Alexander didn't eat them, so I'm wondering if they're dying from maybe a deficiency or something. But other than finding a few dead snails in the tank, everything has been going really, really well. Alexander seems to be happy. He still hasn't figured out how to fully flare yet. It's kind of odd. I don't know if anyone else has had that with their bettas, but if you have, let me know, because Alexander is the only one I know who does that. He'll flare his gill covers, but the rest of it, that frilly part, the labyrinth organ, does not expand. I'm not really sure why, but maybe he's just not old enough yet. I don't know. He also has not started building a bubble nest yet, so that may also be why. I don't know. But yeah, he hasn't been building a bubble nest yet, so I just imagine he's not old enough. He's probably about a year old now. He could be about 11 months to a year. But when I got him, he was around 8 months, and that was about 3 months ago. But he's doing so well, and he is really happy in his home. As far as behavior goes, I am kind of hoping that Alexander stops being so jumpy. If you've ever had a jumpy betta that got better over time, let me know if you did anything specific, because I have tried just kind of sitting near him so he's used to me. He's not really scared of me, but he's just jumpy. So because he's on my desk, if I shut a drawer too quickly, probably the vibration, he will jump. And if I put my finger up to the glass, he hates my finger. He kind of gives it the side eye and he just swims away. So I don't know. He doesn't seem to like most things. He has a very strong food drive though, so that's good. All right, friend, thank you for joining me on this little tank tour. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you have any ideas for videos in the future, also let me know. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.